subscribe to JNZY on YouTube. It's a
Alright boys, I'm back and we've got another video. We've got a new layout for a video if you ask me. Because I'm thinking of changing stuff up around here. So I've got a new microphone. This is just a bit of a test. Look, it's got a bloody arm on it. Look at that. But yeah, we're just changing stuff up. I want Anthony Fantano to rinse me. I'm now Anthony Fantano. I'm talking about music today, boys. That's our main issue here. Not issue. I've done videos about music before, and yeah, they've been alright. But I want to change it up. I want to do sitting down videos more like this, where I can just sit down and like I just have like this in front of me. I think it looks a lot nicer, a lot more aesthetic. And then when I'm doing my vlogs, I'll stand up and do the whole like animated, not animated, but I'm just like more like enthusiastic. This is much more of a sit down, having a chat. But the other one, we can talk. I'll stand up because I've got a new tripod as well that can stand up and shrink, so I can just do whatever. I don't have to focus on my camera like leaning, tilting or anything, like leaning against a shoebox or whatever. Now I've got a tripod, so yeah. That's basically, let's just get in. I'm doing top 10s for my main 3 things. I keep seeing people on TikTok doing it, where they do the top 10 things. Anthony Fantano keeps rinsing it. So I'm just gonna do my top 10 favourite like rap or just my favourite albums. My favourite albums, artists and songs. So yeah, let's get to that. Okay, so I'm gonna go from 10 to 1. Because that's what they do to build suspense. And number 10 is only bloody Quavo. I like Quavo. I think he's cool. I like his voice. I like he's my favourite Migo. Is that how you say it? He's my favourite member of Migos. And I quite like Migos. But he's my favourite member of it. Because I think he's got the best features on other people's songs. I think he's got some of the better solo work out of them. And Unconfused is a cool duo. And I think he did better on the Unconfused songs than Takeoff did. I like Takeoff as well. But I think Quavo's just, he's more versatile. And I enjoy his sound. And number 9 is, it's only bloody A$AP Rocky. I like A$AP Rocky. That's all I can really say. I haven't really got anything to say about him because I just quite like him. He's just quite cool. His music's good. He's probably got the best flow out of any rapper on this list. I think he's probably got my favourite flow because he's just good at it. He's just good. Number 8 is a bit of a rogue one because he doesn't really fit with the rest of these. Childish Gambino. I'm just a fan of Donald Glover mainly, and I think Childish Gambino's songs on their own, none of them are my top 10 favourite songs, that's a spoiler, but none of them are my top 10 favourite songs, but I really like his albums as a whole. I really like Awaken My Love and Because of the Internet. I think they're both very good. So yeah, so he's getting it on the basis of I like Donald Glover and I like his albums as like a whole project. I think they're very good. So yeah. Number 7, JNZY or JNZY, you never know. People say it differently. I'm gonna call him JNZY for the rest of things so I don't get triggered. But yeah, I've become a fan of JNZY recently. Not recently, this year. Because in my last video about music I did the top albums of the year or whatever. Or whatever the best album was of that year, and I mentioned JNZY and Denzel Curry. I mentioned both of them. And my goal after that video was to get, because I didn't listen to those albums, my goal was to get into their music this year. And we're 3 months in, and I'm a fan of the pair of them. But JNZY is number 7, so that's all I've really got to say. I like JNZY. He makes very good music. His voice is very cool. He's just good. Okay. Number 6 is Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator, I had a vinyl there where Denzel Curry vinyl is. There used to be the Call Me If You Get Lost vinyl there. But I don't know what to do with it now because I put the Denzel Curry one there, so, you know. You might see it come back in a future video. You never know. But I like Tyler the Creator. I'm a big fan. I think his music is very good. that's all I can really say. I just like his music. I'm not like a music expert, so I don't really know what to say in this, like, I don't know what to say about this stuff, but I just say these are my people that I like. I enjoy Tyler the Creator's music. I think he does what Childish Gambino does with, like, he makes very good albums, but he also makes very good songs to listen to on their own. So yeah, that's it. That's good from me. I'm smart. Number 5 is Travis Scott. I know the Astro World controversy or whatever, where I'll say or whatever, it's a very bad situation at the festival where loads of people died, and yeah, but I'm a fan of his music. I'm separating the art from the artist. I like Travis Scott's music. I think Astro World is a masterpiece, and I think Rodeo is also a masterpiece. So yeah, that's all I've really got to say. Oh, hey, oh. That's all I've really got to say. I think his use of auto-tune is the best out of most artists. I think he's made it his sound, and I think that's very cool. And I think the fact his voice works so well in such a unique way with auto-tune is just good. So yeah, number 4, Vince Staples. That's gonna be a hot take, I think. A lot of these are just, they're not hot takes. Not people go, oh, why are they on your top 10? It's just more of like an, oh, okay. That's one of them. I'm a big Vince Staples fan. I've got his thing there. Look, it's the Vince Staples vinyl. It's the one called Vince Staples because he named an album after himself because he's a genius. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Vince Staples. I think his voice, his delivery, his flow, it's just everything. It's just so nice. And yeah, he's this high because a lot of his songs that I like are like in my top 10. Not in my top 10. In my top 20. A lot of my top 20 are Vince Staples songs. Probably about 5 of Vince Staples songs. And that's like a quarter. That's a lot. I like Vince Staples. He makes cool music. Number 3, Denzel Curry. I don't know how, because I haven't listened to him for that long, but I've listened to like a lot. I think he's got the best discography out of this list. I'm a big fan. I knew who he was, but I didn't know that I knew who he was. Basically, I'd heard Ultimate before, but I didn't know that was Denzel Curry. And I'd heard Clark Cobain before, but I didn't know that was Denzel Curry. And once I did like some deep dive, I had a week off school, and I remember I just listened to like all of his albums. I listened to his music for like that whole week, and it just blew my mind. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. So yeah. Number 2 is Kanye West. We're talking about separating the art from the artist with Travis Scott. Please do that, because I like Kanye West, his music, and his clothing. I think he's a creative genius, but he's not a genius in like an intellect way, because he likes Hitler. I can't get behind that. But everything else, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of him. I think his music, his use of samples, his production, it's just everything. It's just very good. And yeah, that's what I've really got. I'm just a fan. He does everything. He can do a bit of everything. Kanye can. So that's why I'm a fan. And then number 1, you probably knew it. It's Kid Cudi. It's Kid Cudi. I'm a stan of Kid. I'm a big fan of Kid Cudi, and I've been a fan of Kid Cudi for like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. I'm a fan. I like his music a lot. So yeah, that's really what I've got to say. His music. It's just so great. It's just great. Him and Denzel Curry have got the best discography not in the whole of it, but I think Kanye's probably got the best discography, because he's only got like 1 or 2 misses, like album wise. But out of like that many good albums, it's a hard one to see who's got the best. But yeah, that's basically that. That's my top 10 best artists. I'm a fan of all of these people. They're all very good. So yeah, let's cut to the songs. Okay, I'm back. I don't know why my lighting's just changed. I look very red all of a sudden. But yeah, top 10 songs of all time. I'm gonna have to start with number 10 again in the ranking format. It's This Life by Denzel Curry. I just really like the song. It's a very good song. I like the chorus, I like the verses. It's just a very good song. It's just enjoyable. You can listen to it anywhere. You can listen to a shower, you can listen to it on a walk, you can listen to it when you're sat in bed. It's just so versatile and it's a very good song. And then number 9, I Thought You Wanted to Dance. This is one of the first songs that was in my playlist from like a year or two ago. I added it straight away because I love this song. Like, because it's part of a 2-part song. It's Sweet and I Thought You Wanted to Dance were both in like a 10-minute song together. But I Thought You Wanted to Dance is the part that I love. It's such a good song. It just sounds so good. That's all I've really got to say. Tyler Creator sounds great on this song. Oh, the last song's a Denzel Curry song, by the way. I need to say who's who. But yeah, I Thought You Wanted to Dance is a Tyler Creator song. It just sounds so good. I can't remember what the woman's called who's on it, but there's a woman feature on it and she sounds amazing as well. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say. Number 8, Oh My, This Side. Those are 2 different songs on one, and I love them both. There's Travis Scott and Quavo on Rodeo, and it's just such a good song. It's probably my favourite Travis Scott song. I just really like it. I think both songs are equally good, and I think if they were separated into 2 different songs, they both wouldn't be as good on their own. I think they work so well because they're on one song together. Like they're 2 songs in one. I'm not very good at explaining stuff, but yeah, I think that's why they work so well together. So yeah, that's all I've really got to say. Number 7 is Welcome to Heartbreak. It's a Kanye West and Kid Cudi song. It's probably one of their first collaborations from 808s and Heartbreak. And it's the opening to 808s and Heartbreak, and I just love it. It was the first thing that I listened to when I listened to 808s and Heartbreak. Because obviously the first time I listened to it as an album altogether. And I loved that song like so much. Because I'd listened to Kid Cudi a bit before. And this was the album that got me into Kanye West. So I listened to the album because I knew Kid Cudi like did a lot of production on it and writing. So I listened and I loved that song so much. So yeah. Number 6, Money Trees, which is a Kendrick Lamar song, which is a bit of a rogue one to throw in here because I haven't mentioned Kendrick Lamar yet. I don't know. Kendrick Lamar was nearly on my top 10 artists. I was between Kendrick Lamar and Quavo because I quite like them both. But Kendrick Lamar, he is very good. He is very good. I haven't listened to Pimp a Butterfly. If I had, he would probably be on my top 10 artists. But I haven't. I need to do more of a deep dive into him because I've only listened to Damn and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Okay, leave me alone. I don't know. But Damn was quite good. But Money Trees, I have listened to that and it's a perfect song. There's nothing wrong with that song. It's just so good. The female feature on that song is it is delightful. It's amazing. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. Number 5, Law of Averages, which is a Vince Staples song from the Vince Staples album called Vince Staples. It's just a very good, it's the 2nd song on the album and I love it. Because I was between that and Are You With That for being on my top 10. And they're the 2 opening songs to Vince Staples and they're the 2 best songs from the album as well. So yeah, but just a good song. I like everything. I like the chorus, I like the delivery. And I just like it. I like the rhyming scheme, I just like all of it. Number 4 is Walking, which is a Denzel, that's from that album, the Denzel Curry Melt My Eyes, See Your Future album. It's so good. It's the 2nd song from the album, but it's the first proper song, because the first song on that is Melt Session 1, which is kind of a song, but kind of not. It's just a bit like it's an introduction song, but it's got a verse on it, so it's a bit weird. But Walking is like the first full-on song, and it's so good. It's genuine. The beat, the sample, everything, it just works so well on that song. His voice sounds so good like with that sample, with the high-pitched singing thing, and when he harmonizes with the sample, it just sounds so good. So yeah, number 3 is called Love. It's a Kid Cudi song that only got released like last year, but it didn't get released. It had been leaked like a few years before. It didn't get released on Spotify until last year when he released like an album with all of his like hits on or whatever. and I love that song. It's called Love, but I really like that. It's just such a good song. It's got such a good message. It's just got such a good everything about it. I love that song. Number 2 is called Home. It's a Vince Staples song it's from Into the Spider-Verse. And I remember the first time I listened to this song was when the first trailer for Into the Spider-Verse came out, and I was like, whoa, this is different. And I didn't listen to it for a few years, and then I remembered it out of nowhere, and that was what got me into Vince Staples. I found that song again, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. And then I went through the discography. I listened to FM, I listened to the Vince Staples album called Vince Staples, and then that was right before Thingy came out, Ramona Park Broke My Heart, and that album was great as well. So it was just delightful. And then number 1 is called Soundtrack to My Life, which is from the first Man on the Moon. And it's just a very good song. It was the first, no, it wasn't the first Kid Cudi song I listened to was Day and Night, but that was the first time I loved the song. When I heard that song, oh, it's just such a good song. So yeah, that's all I've got. Anthony Fantano, if you slew me, I'm going to be fuming, because I'm happy with this list so far. So yeah. Okay, so now it's time for the albums. This was the one that was hardest for me to decide, because I like a lot of albums. I'm more inclined to listen to a full album, like, on its own rather than individual songs. It depends what I'm doing, really. If I'm doing something that's like long, I'm gonna listen to like a full album. Like I listen to full albums in school when I'm in like a lesson or whatever, right, where I can't have headphones in. I always listen to like a full album rather than just my playlist. But when I'm walking to like the shop or whatever, I'll just listen to like a song. It's a sticky one, but. Albums, I listen to a lot of albums, and number 10 is going to be The Forever Story by JNZY, and I really like this album. I've listened to the album like 6 or 7 times, and it gets better every time. It just does. I'm a big fan of that album. I've listened to all these albums here. I've listened to like a lot of times. So yeah, Astro World, number 9. I think this album's a masterpiece. Personally, people probably prefer Rodeo or The Butterfly Effect, but I personally, I adore Astro World. It's such a good. No, but why did I say The Butterfly Effect? That's a song. Birds in the Trap. Birds in the Trap. That sounds wrong. I've only listened to the album once. Is it called Birds in the Trap? Or is it called The Butterfly? Yeah, that one. We don't know which one I'm on about. I think it's Birds in the Trap. But Astro World, I'm a big fan. And there's not really one miss on that album, and I think the fact that all the features are hidden is just delightful. It's just like the first time I listened to this album, I was blown away, because I didn't listen to it when it came out. I knew Sicko Mode, I'd heard Sicko Mode before, but that was it. And then I listened to the album, and I didn't know who was on it. I was assuming Drake was on it, but that was it. And then there was just so many people. I remember the first time I listened to Stop Trying to Be God, my mind was blown, because I was like, I can hear Kid Cudi humming with a harmonica, like in the background as well. I was just, everything, it blew my mind. Number 8 is Man on the Moon 3, which is that album. It's just very good. I really like this album. It's just there's nothing really wrong with it. I haven't really got much to say. I just really like it. I've listened to it a solid amount of times, and it's very good. It does fall off a bit towards the end though. As like, when I first listened to it, I loved it. It was my favourite Kid Cudi album. And then, I've listened to it a few more times and it just falls off a bit towards the end. So yeah, number 7 is Vince Staples, that album, called Vince Staples, which is weird. But yeah, that one, I really like the album. It does fall off again towards the end, but it's not as long as Man on the Moon 3. So I prefer it, I think. Because they're both quite similar in, they both fall off towards the end, but Vince Staples is a lot shorter, so it's just a bit easier to like it and listen to it. Number 6 is Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, which is that album, it's just very good. There's like no skips on it. It's like weird, apart from maybe John Wayne. John Wayne's not my cup of tea, but there's like no skips on it. I love that song, not the song, that album. It's a very good album. And I think it's got my favourite album cover out of all of these like albums on this list. I just really like it. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's got a lot of like 10 out of 10 songs. I was so close to putting Ain't No Way on the top 10 song list because I just love that song. But what brought it down was the start bit, because I don't understand the bit where it gets more aggressive. I think if the whole song was just more the chilled out bit and it went to JNZY had a longer verse, it'd have just been a perfect song. But yeah, number 5, Igor, the Tyler the Creator album. I was gonna put Call Me If You Get Lost here, but I think Igor is a better album on its like own, because there's also like barely any misses on that, barely any skips on that album. It's just quite good, you know what I mean? It's just one of them. And then number 4, Because the Internet, which is a Childish Gambino album, and there's not been any Childish Gambino songs on this list, but Because the Internet is just such a good album, if you ask me. I'm a big fan. It just works so well. And the fact that there's a screenplay that goes with it as well, and all the music videos, I know I shouldn't be counting that, but it's just there's so much thought into that album. The fact that he made up a character for it and stuff. And I know Igor is this like literally the exact same thing, but there's just a lot of thought into Because the Internet. Actually, I really like it. Number 3 is Taboo, which is another Denzel Curry album, but I don't have the vinyl for that because I think this has got a more aesthetic vinyl cover, so I just got that one. But Taboo is a very good album. I really like it. I just really like it. I've listened to the album like 10 or 11 times. I really like it. The opening few songs are just so good. Black Balloons and Taboo, they're genuinely perfect songs. I love them. I know that they're not on the top 10, but still, I do love those songs. And then number 2 is 808s and Heartbreak, which is up there, which is the Kanye album. It's my favourite Kanye album. I nearly put my Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy on here, but it didn't make the cut because I like a lot of albums. And I haven't listened to that one that much, but I know it is a very good album, so you never know. If I listen to it more, it could come on here. But 808s and Heartbreak, it's just so good. And what adds to it is the influence that it had on everything, like on pop culture. So yeah, that's it. Number 1, Man on the Moon 1. It's the first Kid Cudi album I listened to, and it changed the way I look at music, to be honest. Not changed the way I looked at music, but it got me into Kid Cudi, and that got me into Kanye, that got me into Travis Scott. It was like a chain reaction. And now I like music, like a lot more than I did like a few years ago. So yeah, that's basically it. So Anthony Fantano, just rinse me. That's what I'm asking. Please make fun of me, Anthony Fantano. And if you like these type of videos where I'm just sat down having a chat with a camera, comment, like the video. Don't comment like the last guy who had a go at me and told me to quit YouTube. Why? I don't want to quit. I also missed last week, but yeah, that's my bad. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.